morning, good afternoon, or whenever you're diving into this with us. I want to start today by asking you to think about routine.
Mm-hmm.
That Sunday morning ritual. Maybe it's coffee, maybe the paper, or maybe most universally it's the grocery run.
Right, the weekly shop.
For us, that task is often performed on autopilot, a purely transactional necessity.
Yeah, you just get it done.
But what happens when that routine becomes, a high-stakes obstacle course?
That's really the core question for our deep dive today, isn't it? Imagine navigating that same shopping trip, but in a brand new city.
Okay.
Speaking a language you're still mastering and trying to figure out an entirely foreign system of commerce.
Suddenly, buying a kilo of apples isn't just buying apples anymore.
Exactly. It turns into this crucial examination of cultural fluency, urban logistics, and even microeconomics right there at the stall. So our mission today is to take the source material detailing Anna's new life at the market
and really extract every single nugget of insight we can find. We're analyzing this one seemingly mundane market visit,
just one trip,
as a foundational learning curve for urban confidence. And this dive, it's really customized for you, the learner, because Anna's journey shows us something important.
What's that?
That the most valuable lessons, they're often found not in textbooks, but in these noisy, chaotic, real-world interactions.
Absolutely. We're going to meticulously break down the language she uses, the genuinely puzzling pricing structure she encounters.
Oh, yeah, we need to get into that.
And the absolutely critical social support she receives. That support is what allows her to turn that initial anxiety into, competence.
Okay, let's set the scene then. It's Sunday morning. Anna wakes up needing the absolute core essentials. Bread, milk, eggs, vegetables. The basics. And she knows one key thing straight away. She probably can't do this alone yet. She relies on her neighbor, Mrs. Green, for that initial guidance. And that tiny exchange, just learning that the Sunday market is the place to go, and the number 10 bus is the way to get there. That's the first essential step toward her independence, isn't it?
It really is, that first bit of navigation.
Okay, let's unpack this first stage of the journey. Because the logistics, for a newcomer, they represent maybe the biggest psychological barrier.
Definitely. We take clear directions totally for granted, don't we?
We do.
But when you're new, the fear of missing a stop or getting on the wrong bus or winding up somewhere completely unknown.
It's paralyzing.
It absolutely can be. So the directions Mrs. Green provides, take the number 10 bus from the corner. It will stop right in front of the market.
Simple enough.
Simple, yes. But they do so much more than just provide a travel route. They eliminate that ambiguity we talked about.
Right. Cuts through the noise.
Precisely. They transform this overwhelming unknown into a finite step-by-step process. And that certainty That provides the initial, psychological safety net Anna needs to even leave the apartment.
And this is where we need to look closer, I think, at the initial social contract established between Anna and Mrs. Green. Now, wait a minute. Isn't offering to buy apples just basic politeness?
Well, yes.
How does that genuinely translate into social capital that she can actually rely on later? Is it really that deep?
That's an excellent point to challenge, actually. It's definitely polite, you're right.
Yeah.
But I think it's also proactive integration.
Okay, explain that. Anna isn't just passively taking directions. She offers, "Would you like me to bring something for you?" By taking on this shared task, bringing back the best apples, she establishes, yes, a transactional favor, but more importantly, a reciprocal relationship. She shifts from being just a passive recipient of charity, like the directions,
Right.
to an active participant in her new community, however small that community is right now.
Ah, okay. So the small favor elevates her status in a way. It gives her a concrete, shared purpose beyond just filling her own empty fridge. Exactly. It connects her mission to the needs of the neighborhood, represented by Mrs. Green. This active neighborliness, this building a social capital, it's actually vital for urban survival, especially early on.
And when she gets back, the successful delivery of those specific apples reinforces her position in Mrs. Green's, let's say, trust circle.
Perfectly put. It's a low-risk mechanism for her to practice the kind of social fluidity required in the city.
Yeah.
And she carries that little bit of initial confidence onto the bus with her.
Okay, so the journey continues on the bus now. And this is where she immediately has to test her linguistic skills and her navigational planning.
Yep. First real test in public. She uses her English, asking a friendly woman sitting next to her, "Is this bus going to the city market?" That confirmation, just getting a yes, it's critical, isn't it?
It really is. It validates her initial research, her decision-making process with Mrs. Green. The confidence boost you get from a successful, simple confirmation conversation like that, it's immense for a language learner.
Huge. And this confirmation leads straight into the second unexpected layer of consumer guidance.
How so?
The friendly woman doesn't just say yes. She provides essential, actionable, local knowledge. She says, the market is very big.
Okay.
Go to the green section. The prices are good.
Ah. So this is fascinating. It means Anna is learning not just the location, but the hidden geography within the market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's being told that this massive commercial space isn't uniform. It's zoned. Knowing to look for the green section is the difference between just wandering aimlessly, potentially getting overwhelmed or ripped off.
And actually shopping efficiently for value.
Yeah.
Like a local would.
It's the transition from tourist shopping to savvy local shopping in one sentence. She's effectively been given a shortcut to maybe the discount sector, or at least the value sector.
So the first piece of advice from Mrs. Green eliminated the navigational anxiety about the bus. And the second piece from a stranger starts to eliminate the price anxiety by directing her toward known value.
And this type of spontaneous peer-to-peer mentorship, you just can't put a price on that for integration. It's gold.
Okay, so then comes the moment of arrival. She steps off the bus, and bam! Confronted by the full force of the market.
Yeah.
Her reaction is purely sensory, isn't it? Wow. So many colors, sounds, and smells.
That sensory overload is such a critical element of adapting to city life.
Yeah.
If you come from a small town, like the source says Anna did,
Right.
the sheer volume of stimuli, overlapping conversations, vendors shouting, intense visuals, the smells, it can be genuinely debilitating.
Requires a lot of processing power just to function.
A significant level of cognitive processing,
Yeah.
just to filter out the noise and focus on the task at hand, buying those groceries. The fact that she pushes through, driven by her list and the directions she got, it really highlights her determination. She overcomes that initial shock and focuses on the mission.
So she's passed the logistical test getting there, and now she's passed the initial sensory test upon arrival.
Now she has to face the economic test, the actual buying.
Right.
Having successfully navigated the physical chaos of the market, Anna immediately runs into the next layer of complexity. The hidden chaos of market economics.
Yeah, hidden chaos is a good way to put it. This is where we need to get really granular, We're dissecting every single transaction to understand the cognitive load being imposed on Anna.
And it's not just about the money, is it?
No, not at all. The cognitive load here involves several factors beyond just simple currency exchange. You've got remembering the initial unit price, calculating running totals in her head, maybe deducing the implied price of unlisted items.
And while processing the interaction in a second language under pressure.
Exactly. So let's start with the fruit stall that's in scene 4 of the source material.
Okay.
First purchase. Apples. The seller is clear. $2 per kilo. Anna buys exactly 1 kilo. Clean, clear, $2. Perfect start. Simple.
But then she immediately adds bananas. She asks for 1 banana bunch. Now the seller states the composite total for both items is $3. Okay, so the mental arithmetic clock starts ticking instantly for Anna, right?
Yeah, apples were $2. Total is $3. She has to instantly calculate, just by subtraction, that the banana bunch must have cost $1.
Which requires working memory, fluency with numbers, all while managing the social interaction. It's a fundamental test of her capacity to track value in a really fluid environment.
And that capacity is immediately challenged, maybe even more so, at the vegetable stall in scene 5. This is where the source material gives us our most interesting data point, what you called the total anomaly. Right, the anomaly. Okay, first the spinach. The price is stated clearly. $1 a bunch, very fresh, just from the farm. Sounds good. Anna takes 2 bunches. So, expected cost, $2.
Yep. Then she has tomatoes. The price is $2 per kilo. She asked for half a kilo.
Okay, so half a kilo at $2 per kilo. Expected cost is $1 for the tomatoes.
Right. So the total expected cost is $2 for the spinach plus $1 for the tomatoes, which equals $3. But that's not what the vegetable feller says. He states, sure, that's $2 total.
Yeah.
$2 total. Wait a minute. She was charged $2 for items that, based on the quoted prices, should have cost $3.
Yeah, the spinach alone was valued at $2 based on the price she was told.
So it looks like she got the half kilo tomatoes effectively for free. Or maybe the spinach was heavily discounted somehow, which contradicts the stated $1 a bunch price.
What is going on here? Is this just generosity? Or is it some kind of sharp business strategy we're seeing?
That's the exact question we need to analyze. Because this anomaly, this missing dollar, tells us everything about urban market culture versus, say, fixed retail pricing.
And if Anna only focuses on the linguistic success, I understood, I paid correctly, she misses the crucial economic lesson here, which is that the price might be flexible.
Precisely. Let's break down the possibilities for this $1 disappearance. Let's think beyond just simple rounding down.
Okay, possibility A.
Loss leader or customer loyalty building. Think about it. For a regular market vendor, securing a new customer, especially one who's clearly focused on fresh ingredients, she chose the fresh from the farm spinach.
Right, she values quality.
That customer is valuable. That $1 discount isn't really a loss. It's an investment in Anna's future loyalty. The vendor might be signaling, maybe subconsciously, my prices are flexible. I notice you and I value your business.
So it moves the transaction from just swapping goods for cash
to the potential beginning of a relationship.
Interesting.
Okay, what's possibility B?
Operational efficiency. Speed of service. You know how busy these markets can get.
Yeah, chaos.
If the stall is bustling, waiting for Anna to maybe fumble with change, calculate $3, maybe needing coins back, dealing with 50 cents or whatever, it's inefficient.
Slows things down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simplifying the transaction to a clean, easy $2 bill facilitates rapid turnover. In a really busy market, speed often provides a better return on investment for the vendor than absolute adherence to fractional prices. Makes sense. Get the queue moving. What about C?
The hidden volume discount structure. Although the stated price was $1 per bunch for spinach, buying 2 bunches might have automatically triggered an unadvertised volume discount. This is a really common market practice where the public unit price is maybe slightly higher than the actual selling price for buying multiples or slightly larger quantities.
Okay, so those are plausible reasons. But the critical implication for Anna, though, let's talk about the newcomer tax versus the newcomer opportunity.
Explain that.
Well, if she had known the unwritten rules of the market, maybe she could have politely question the spinach price up front or asked for a small discount on the tomatoes because she was buying two things.
So she paid the $2 and just said thank you? She absorbed the savings passively.
Right. Whereas a seasoned city girl, maybe, would have either tried to negotiate down to, say, $1.50 for the lot, or at least mentally banked that discount as leverage for next time.
So she's learning that market price can be elastic. But she hasn't yet learned how to actively engage with that elasticity. Is that fair?
I think so. And that passive acceptance, probably driven by her linguistic anxiety, contrasts really sharply with her next stop, the predictable commerce of the bakery stall in scene 6.
Oh, yes.
Okay, bakery. It feels like the psychological palate cleanser after the vegetable confusion.
Totally. Loaves are $1 each. She buys 2, so that's $2. Butter cookies are $3 for 1 box. Simple addition.
Total is $5. This stall offers a clear fixed price. It's likely a higher volume, maybe lower margin type of commerce model compared to the fresh produce.
And that fixed pricing structure provides psychological safety, doesn't it? After the confusing fluidity of the vegetable stall, the fixed price signals reliability.
Absolutely. Anna doesn't have to calculate implied costs or worry about negotiation here.
Yeah.
And this difference in vendor style, the fluid relational pricing for perishables versus the fixed, almost retail style pricing for manufactured goods like bread and cookies.
That's a major lesson in urban economic diversity right there.
Yeah.
All within a few meters of each other.
And finally, before we move off economics, let's touch on the non-essential purchase, the flowers. She formally learns the bargaining language.
Yeah.
She performs an innate price comparison. Red roses are $3 a bunch. Yellow flowers are $2 a bunch. She opts for the $2 option.
That's really revealing, isn't it? It shows that Anna possesses an intrinsic understanding of value and economy, even when she's making a purely aesthetic purchase, something just for pleasure.
She's price sensitive, even if she currently lacks the linguistic tools or maybe the confidence to actively negotiate.
And that conscious comparison, choosing the cheaper option, it kind of sets the mental stage for the bargaining lesson that's about to come, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like she's primed. She's ready to move beyond just tracking prices to actively trying to influence them.
The next step in her evolution as a city shopper.
So, if Section 2 was all about the economic demand placed on Anna, Section 3 feels like it's about the emotional fuel that keeps her engine running through all this.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Anna has completed her high-stakes essential purchases. She must be exhausted, mentally at least.
Definitely. So she needs a break. And scene 7, the tea break, becomes this vital moment of cultural and emotional exchange.
It really isn't just a pause, is it? It's like the emotional circuit breaker for her day.
Yeah.
She's physically grounding herself after all those cognitive demands and the sensory overload we talked about. And the description of the tea itself is key. Fresh and hot, made with love and spices. It's warmth and comfort personified, right in the middle of all that market chaos.
And the conversation that follows with the tea seller, it reveals her vulnerability, but also her growing confidence. He asks about her background. And she's open. She says, I'm from a small town. I moved here last week. Sharing that personal detail with a complete stranger.
That's a profound moment of trust, actually.
Yeah.
And linguistic courage. She's choosing to use her developing language skills, not just for transactions, but for connection.
And the tea seller's reaction is so important. Welcome to the city. I hope you like it here.
It's such a simple phrase, but it's an essential piece of validation, isn't it? He acts as this unofficial city ambassador, providing a really low-stakes moment of acceptance and social warmth.
And Anna's immediate affirmation, everyone is very kind. It confirms that these small positive interactions are actively combating her initial anxieties.
Yeah, this is how resilience gets built. Brick by brick, kind interaction by kind interaction.
So this successful interaction, it reinforces the idea that the high stakes, navigating the bus, calculating those confusing costs, they're matched by the relatively low risk of negative social judgment. She's learning that people are generally helpful, or at least not unkind, welcoming even.
Exactly.
But then comes the massive turning point, the surprise connection. Meeting Sarah. Hearing a familiar voice in that overwhelming environment. That must have been such a relief.
It's probably the most powerful confidence boost she could possibly receive at that moment. And Sarah immediately validates Anna's efforts, doesn't she? First, by confirming the quality of her destination. The market has the best food.
Right. So Anna's choice of shopping venue is instantly validated by someone she knows, and her confidence just shoots up because now she has an ally, a friendly face in the crowd.
And then Sarah immediately shifts Anna's focus. It's subtle but important.
How so?
She moves from task-oriented shopping, did you buy the stuff you needed, to more relationship-oriented or maybe culture-oriented shopping.
I see. Sarah acknowledges her logistical success. Good job recognizing the fruit, vegetables, bread.
Yeah, she sees the bags, but then she zeroes in on the crucial skill gap with that key question, did you bargain a little? And that question, it acts like a precise diagnostic tool, doesn't it? It immediately identifies that Anna has mastered the basic transactional language.
How much is this? I'll take 2. But not the negotiation language. It's the moment the whole journey pivots from just acquiring goods to potentially acquiring this essential urban skill of negotiation.
The next level of market competence.
Okay, here's where we transition into real linguistic empowerment. And Anna is refreshingly honest about her initial approach, isn't she? Completely. She says, no, I didn't. I just said thank you and paid. And that reflects the profound anxiety, I think, that many language learners face. Negotiation, it requires a certain level of confrontation, maybe linguistic improvisation.
Yeah, thinking on your feet.
And definitely a temporary departure from just sticking to rigid politeness formulas.
Absolutely. When you're struggling with just basic communication, the instinct is often to avoid anything that feels like conflict. You want to end the interaction quickly and cleanly.
Get out without making a mistake.
Right. So Anna likely prioritized linguistic completion, getting the transaction done, and perceived politeness over any potential economic advantage. She might have feared that trying to bargain would expose her lack of fluency, or worse,
Violate some unknown cultural rule. Cause offense.
exactly. That fear is very real.
But Sarah, acting as the mentor figure here, immediately steps in with practical, direct instruction. This isn't about abstract theory. It's about giving Anna a specific linguistic key.
A tool. A tool, she says. Next time, try saying, can you make it a little cheaper? Okay, let's analyze the social linguistics of that specific phrase. Why does can you make it a little cheaper work so well, particularly for a newcomer like Anna?
Well, first off, it's polite, isn't it? It uses the modal verb can you, which softens the request. It's not a demand.
Good point. And the inclusion of a little, what does that do?
A little manages expectations, I think. It implies she's not asking for some drastic 50% off kind of discount.
Right, not trying to lowball them.
It just acknowledges the potential fluidity of the market price we saw earlier. It feels like a culturally appropriate entry point into negotiation, not too aggressive.
That's a crucial detail. It gives Anna the mechanism to ask for a better price without sounding, aggressive or entitled. It frames the request almost as a collaborative suggestion. Can we make this work slightly differently? Rather than a confrontation.
And the power of this scene, for me, lies in Anna's immediate active rehearsal of the phrase and Sarah's instant positive validation. Yeah, Anna repeats it right away. Oh, that's a good sentence. Can you make it a little cheaper? She recognizes its utility. And Sarah's immediate response, perfect. You sound great. That's more than just praise, isn't it?
Much more. It's like linguistic permission. It overrides Anna's internal fear of sounding rude or awkward or, foreign. Sarah validates not just the grammar, but the tone and the implied confidence behind the delivery.
And that reinforcement, that positive feedback, helps solidify the phrase into Anna's active vocabulary. It's not just something she heard, it's something she said and got positive feedback on.
That instant feedback loop is paramount for learning these high-stakes social skills. The fear of messing up or getting negative judgment is immediately replaced by the positive feedback from her peer, from Sarah.
So Anna now possesses the tool, the phrase.
And she's clearly eager to try it. You can feel her readiness.
Right. And the application of this lesson immediately follows, or at least the opportunity does. They decide to shop for flowers together in scene 9. And it seems brilliant, actually, that this first chance to apply the spirit of the lesson, even though she ends up focusing on price comparison rather than active bargaining this time.
Yeah, she chooses the cheaper yellow ones.
It's a discretionary purchase. Flowers aren't essential like bread or milk.
That's a really important point. The low-risk nature of the flower purchase means there's basically zero downside if her attempt at negotiation, or even just practicing the phrase mentally, were to fail.
Yeah, if the flower seller says no or looks annoyed, it doesn't really matter. She doesn't need the flowers.
Exactly. It allows Anna to flex her new confidence without the pressure of essential need weighing on her. She opts for the $2 yellow flowers, demonstrating that continued presence of her economic sensibility.
Which we saw earlier.
But now it's paired with her freshly enhanced linguistic confidence, thanks to Sarah's lesson.
So she walks away having successfully completed a discretionary purchase, feeling fortified by the bargaining lesson she just received, and with the immense psychological benefit of having her newfound mentor, Sarah, right there with her.
The learning is no longer abstract theory. It's becoming embodied in the actual process of shopping, even for something just beautiful like flowers.
She's putting the pieces together. Okay, as this deep dive reaches its final stage, Anna and Sarah share a moment of reflection. It happens over lunch, 2 vegetable sandwiches for $4, according to scene 10. And the conversation here really synthesizes the entire experience of the morning, doesn't it?
It really does. And starting with the physical act of eating fresh, locally sourced food from the market they just navigated, described as so tasty and always fresh.
Right.
That provides the final physical reward. It confirms that the whole difficult journey, the bus, the crowds, the confusing prices, it was all worthwhile.
That positive sensory conclusion helps reinforce the memory of the market as a successful place, not just a stressful one.
Exactly. But the most significant development here, I think, is the psychological breakthrough that Anna articulates.
What does she say? She states her shift very clearly. I feel more confident now. I can talk to people easily. She's moved beyond just basic competence, just getting by, to actually finding enjoyment in it. She admits the prior anxiety. I used to be afraid to speak, but now it's fun.
And that transition from fear-driven communication to pleasure-driven communication, that is the true measure of fluency, isn't it?
It's more than just grammar, yeah.
Much more. About the emotional resilience to engage freely, spontaneously. She seems to have realized that failure to communicate perfectly doesn't automatically equate to social punishment.
Right. Often it just leads to kindness or help, like with the woman on the bus or the tea seller. Precisely. And Sarah's external validation then solidifies this internal change. Sarah says, I can see that. You spoke English very well today.
That acts as the final seal of approval from her peer group, from someone whose opinion she clearly values.
And then the feedback loop is fully completed when she gets back home in scene 11. Mrs. Green, the person who provided that initial crucial logistical map,
The starting point.
she provides the final piece of social accreditation, if you like. She checks the apples first, confirming the successful completion of the initial task.
Okay, mission accomplished on the apples. But then she immediately focuses on the behavioral aspect, the process, not just the outcome. She asks, "Did you speak English there?"
Mm-hmm.
And Anna doesn't just nod or say yes. She performs her newly acquired advanced skill. She says it with pride. "Can you make it a little cheaper?" She's demonstrating mastery over a specific cultural code, not just basic conversation. She's showing she learned something nuanced about how this city works. And Mrs. Green delivers that powerful, validating judgment that Anna probably really needed to hear. "That's useful. You're becoming a real city girl now." Boom. That phrase signifies acceptance and integration. Anna's no longer just a newcomer finding her feet. She has successfully assimilated both the necessary knowledge and, crucially, the requisite attitude for urban life.
She's transitioned from just relying on directions
To confidently navigating these fluid social and economic situations on her own terms. It's a huge leap.
Okay, so the culmination of the entire day is Anna's evening reflection. Described in scene 12, her learner's log, her notebook entry. This feels like a perfect synthesis of her learning process.
It really is. She starts by cataloging her technical successes, right? Spoke to many people, asked about prices, bought food and flowers, learned new words.
These are the measurable, concrete achievements of the day. But let's look closer at why she chose those specific entries. Why mention bought flowers specifically?
That's a great question. The inclusion of bought flowers is important, I think, because it represents that emotional growth we talked about.
Beyond just the essentials.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows she progressed beyond purely utilitarian survival shopping to embracing aesthetic pleasure and discretionary spending. It signifies that she is starting to actually live in the city, not just survive in it.
Finding moments of joy, not just completing tasks.
And this leads directly to her profound concluding statement, which really elevates the entire source material from just a simple anecdote.
Yeah. To a genuine life lesson. She writes, "I am learning English and I am learning life." Wow. That sentence really encapsulates the realization that linguistic learning and life integration are completely inseparable, doesn't it?
Totally. The market was like a laboratory for her, a place where the rules of grammar and the rules of commerce completely overlapped.
Forcing her to be brave, forcing her to be resilient, and forcing her to be adaptive constantly.
Yeah. She learned that fluency means more than just correct sentences. It means knowing how and when to push back gently, like with bargaining.
And also when to simply accept kindness, like from the tea seller.
She learned the crucial difference between just transactional politeness, saying thank you, and paying and active, engaged ownership of her consumer rights and her social voice.
And it all started with finding the number 10 bus. That success led directly to the confidence to eventually try out the number 10 bargaining phrase, metaphorically speaking.
It's a beautiful arc of learning in just one morning. Hashtag tag outro. Host, speaker, expert, speaker. So, to recap this pretty exhaustive deep dive, we tracked Anna through just one morning at the Sunday market. And in that short time, she achieved, well, maybe not complete mastery, but significant progress over urban logistical challenges. Definitely progress.
Gained vital economic literacy by decoding those fluid, sometimes confusing pricing structures.
The anomaly.
And most importantly, perhaps, secured the linguistic courage to transition from being a passive observer to becoming an active participant and emerging city girl.
And Anna's journey, I think, confirms a really powerful principle for you, the learner, listening to this.
Yeah.
True, lasting knowledge. It's often forged in these kinds of high-stakes, low-risk, real-world interactions.
High stakes for her confidence, low risk in terms of actual danger.
Exactly. The perceived risk of asking about the price of spinach pays dividends far beyond the potential $1 saved. It builds confidence muscle.
We watched Anna transition from simply paying whatever the unexpected sticker price was to actively rehearsing the specific language required to seek a bargain, to own her voice in that commercial space. Her transformation, even just in that one day, was pretty remarkable.
It really was. And this brings us to our final thought for you to mull over. Considering Anna's own reflection that she is learning life, we saw her gain really two distinct forms of confidence today.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's the linguistic courage to speak out to strangers, to share her vulnerability like she did at the tea break. That social openness.
Right, connecting with people.
And second, there's the economic empowerment derived from learning how to ask for a better price, that financial savvy she gained from the bargaining lesson with Sarah.
Okay, social openness versus financial savvy. So the question for you is, which single piece of confidence, the ability to connect socially, or the know-how to navigate financially, do you think will ultimately serve Anna best in navigating the complex, ongoing realities of her new city life? Which is more fundamental?
That's a good one. Social connection or economic agency. Something for you to consider as you encounter your own market anomalies or learning opportunities this week.
Yeah, definitely something to think about.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the practical pedagogy of urban living as seen through Anna's eyes.
We really hope Anna's journey inspires you maybe to turn your next routine interaction into a potentially profound learning experience. You never know what you might learn.
Until next time, keep diving deep.